Hey, Charles. So, what do you guys like about Tony? Why? And how much does he compare with Jeremiah in your eyes?
Thanks for the question, Nate. He's first off, he's explosive. He's rangy. He can get sideline to sideline in both phases. He just gives us tremendous versatility and flexibility in our linebacking core. As far as how he compares to Jeremiah, they both can run. You know, we want to have guys that can cover the field and take stress off of the first level and the third level. They both do that. So we think he brings tremendous value to us.
Thanks, Nate. Tony Grossi has our next question.
Yeah, Charles, I was going to ask about the McShay called them, Arizona's version of JOK.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, I mean, the duplicity of a versatile player like him. I mean, what's the need for that?
If you watch successful teams, especially when they get into the playoffs, if you look at Tampa last year, they had no lack of speed or lack of range anywhere on defense. The more you can add to the group, the better. It can never hurt you having faster, more versatile players who can play football and hunt the ball and make plays. It can't hurt you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Next, we'll go to Jeff Shadell.
Hey, when we talked to Mike Prefer in the past, he's mentioned that they really want to improve the coverage unit. So how do you look at Tony as maybe helping on special teams?
Well, he's definitely a competitive kid. He carries a chip on his shoulder. I know he's going to be aggressive. And like we've said, he can run. So those mixture of traits should help us on special teams for sure. And I know he's going to come in here and try to make a name for himself. So I think he'd be a good addition there.
Thanks, Jeff. Tom Withers, you're up.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Charles, are the days of the traditional middle linebacker over, the Jack Lambert, Dick Butkus, those kind of guys, because of the way the game has changed so much?
You know what? I wouldn't say it's over. I would just say the game's evolving, right? Good players are still going to be good players. You still have backers out there that might not be the fastest or the most rangy, but there's a place for everybody. I think really just in the same way that offenses have evolved with different players at different sizes and skill sets, I think defense is evolving the same way. So we're just adding to the firepower. I don't think those backers that necessarily aren't the fastest, I don't think they're completely outdated, but the game is evolving. That's for sure.
Are you guys confident though that you're stout enough inside? I mean, you've got some more, kind of undersized players, and then obviously in Tommy, you brought in somebody to kind of fill that void in the middle of the interior line. But is that a concern at all?
You know, the one thing about these guys that we've taken, and just our room in general, we're violent. That's what we're going to be. We're going to be violent and explosive. When you watch these guys, I don't think anyone would call them finesse players just because they have range. They do take on, they do hit, they seek out contact. So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Thank you.
Dan Lobby, you're up.
Hey, Charles, I think you've probably mentioned some of them, but I mean, what are the traits for a Cleveland Browns linebacker when you put on the tape and you're scouting a guy? What traits embody being a Cleveland Browns linebacker for you guys?
Yeah, you'll hear from us: tough, smart, and accountable. Tough, smart, and accountable. That's what you'll hear all day from us. We obviously want guys that are athletes that can run and give us versatility on our back end and help our first level as well.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Dan. Nate Ulrich, back to you.
Hey, Charles, when you're talking about the evolution of defense, and you mentioned offense a little bit too, how much is the evolution of defense specifically with these types of linebackers you guys took over the, today and last night? How much is that connected to the quarterbacks? I mean, we're talking Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes in your division, in your conference, guys who can really move.
That's a good question. I think it has more to do with the big picture, right? Not only do you have those kind of guys, but, when you get down to the meat of it, you got tight ends that are 4'4", 4'5", right? Can get down the seam and attack you, right? Now we have linemen that we play against that have feet like linebackers, right? So you have to be able to add pressure. And if you can do that from your secondary and have backers that have an ability to rush, that helps you as well. So it's not just the quarterbacks, it's kind of the full picture. And running backs now too, right? You look at these running backs now, they're splitting out to the slot. They're running routes like a receiver. We got to be able to cover that. We got to be able to match it. So I think it's the full picture.
Thank you, Nate. Tony Grossi, you're up.
Yeah, I guess this goes along the same lines. We know Joe Woods loves to use extra safeties for speed on the field. You've drafted 2 linebackers that are undersized with speed on the field. How much of a concern is it that you might be attacked offensively now with an old-fashioned, power running game? And do you have the resources then to adapt to that if you see that on the field?
Yeah, when I look at our roster, I would say that we have a mix. I wouldn't say that we're siloed into one or pigeonholed into one lane. I think that we've just added versatility and speed to our toolbox. But I wouldn't look across the board at our defense and say that we're dramatically undersized or that a power scheme is going to be able to attack us. I wouldn't say that at all.
Thanks.
Thanks, Tony. Scott Petrick, you have our next question.
Hi, along kind of those same lines, how do you differentiate between a quote unquote undersized safety or undersized linebacker and then the safety? Like Paul DePodesta yesterday said, Jeremiah is a linebacker, but he's not that much different body type than some of your safeties. So how do you guys kind of differentiate those?
Well, if you look at where he was used also in college, right? So he was used down the box. He's not unfamiliar with taking on offensive linemen or crashing in blitz situations. Now, some of the drops they had him do are reminiscent to some of the things that you would ask a safety to do, but that is a good thing. That just adds to his versatility as a backer. To answer your question, the difference is usually these guys that are coming from college, you see them play in the post, you see them play off half field, right? Like Jeremiah was used as a linebacker, and that's where we see him. That's where we project him here.
Thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Nate Ulrich, go ahead.
Hey, Charles, just kind of reflecting, a little bit before today. What was it like in the building when you came out of it last night with, you obviously had Greg Newsome in the first round, and then you have Owusu Koromoa in the second. I mean, these were 2 guys who it was universally accepted first round picks. You guys come away with both of them. What was the reaction response like in the building?
Yeah, we were fired up. Everybody was, and we still are. The energy that's going in this building right now is positive. We're very proud of what we're doing, and we hope to continue to close it out and finish, right? But to answer your question, we were definitely juiced up, super excited.
Before the draft started, could you have wrapped your mind around getting both those guys?
No way. No way, no how. But I'm
Thanks,
glad
Nate.
we did.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks, Nate. We'll go to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, Charles, just wondering, even the guys that you're adding today defensively, they look like they're going to be ready to contribute pretty early on, especially the first 2 guys. So my question is, with all of these guys that you're adding today and all of the guys that you drafted, that you signed in free agency, then you got Andrew coming back, you got Grant coming back, you got Greedy coming back. It just seems like it's like you're ending up with almost too many good defenders. So can you just address the fact that, there's going to be a ton of bodies on that side of the ball now?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I think that pressure creates diamonds, and competition can never be a negative thing, especially on that side of the ball. I think it's a positive when you can bring that energy into the building. And guys, guys are grown men. They know what we're trying to do here, and we're trying to achieve a championship. So guys are going to compete, and I think that's what we're fostering here.